my name is Anshh Ladha. Today, I'm going to be talking about the importance of supply and demand. And what is it? Let's start right to it. First of all, what is supply and demand? Demand means how many people would want the item. And what is supply? Supply is how much of the item do you have. For example, if you're selling something, okay, you're selling this toy, you need to know how much of the supply you have of that toy. Suppose you only have one of the supply or 10. Supply is basically how much you have. Demand in this example is how many people would want it. Or suppose you have a supply of 10 and 100 people would want it because it's a really popular item. You can either keep increasing the price, so then the people who are willing to pay the most, you'll get the most money and most profit. Or suppose you have a supply of 100 of this toy, but a very low demand. You have a demand of 0. What do? Think about the pricing and how the market is going. Why pricing? Is because if you make an object or the item you're selling way too pricey, no one's gonna buy it. Think about it. If you're selling this candy that's actually worth 25 cents, but you're selling it for $100, do you really think someone would buy it? And then secondly, why am I talking about the market? If you're selling hiking boots if you're selling flip-flops in winter, will that really sell? Because winter, people would actually want something cold. Why would you sell flip-flops? That's why what's the market right now? Those are the two main things also with supply and demand. Let me give you an example of everything combined too. Suppose a guy named Bob is selling, let's say he's selling this toy and he has a supply of 10, okay? And he thinks, oh, maybe in a few days this toy might get popular because it's really good, okay? And he's like, okay, he sells it and then he says, oh, wow, what a big demand, 100 people, I was correct. Like I said, he can auction it off or get it. Now let's move on to the importance of supply and demand. Without supply and demand, what will entrepreneurs sell? If there's no demand, meaning no one wants it, what will the suppliers do? Their company's gonna stop because they have no one to give it to. That is basically why supply and demand is extremely important. Out-of-the-box items will also succeed. Think about it. If you're selling candy, an old candy that everyone has, if a candy that everyone has, everyone has it. If you sell a toy that everyone has, will someone really buy it? Think about it. However, if you sell something that barely anyone has, people might be interested in it and this might give you a higher price, meaning there's a higher demand and good news for you. In summarizing conclusion, supply and demand is basically how many people want it and how much of the quantity you have. Some of the main importance is if there's no demand, if no one wants it, what are the suppliers going to do? And how are the entrepreneurs going to sell their items? And pricing. If you price something way too high, like $100 for a 25 cents thing, no one's going to buy it. Lastly, what's the market like? If it's in the winter and you're selling flip-flops, would someone really want it in the cold winter? If you enjoyed this video and want to know more about the MoonshotJr company, click like, share, and subscribe, and go to their website, www.MoonshotJr.com. Thank you.